Welcome to the 18th Annual Senate Memorial Day Service. I'd like to welcome our guests in the gallery as well as the guests on the Senate floor. The Senate Memorial Day Service was started in May of 1995 by then Senator, now Congressman, Mike Rogers, a former Army officer. The ceremony was intended to remind citizens of the sacrifices made by fellow Americans. In 2003, my former colleague and friend, Valde Garcia, who's with us today, volunteered to carry on the tradition of this event. Today, I have the honor of carrying on that tradition. This service is an opportunity for us, as senators, to show the gratitude of those who left behind friends, family, and the comforts of home to defend our principles of freedom and liberty. I would ask guests on the floor and the gallery to stand for the posting of the colors and to remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. Please post the colors. like to welcome the Bell Chords, who will be singing the national anthem. The Bell Chord members are Paula Hoffman, Elizabeth Johnson, Sandy Clark, and Catherine Summers. As some of you may know, Catherine Summers is a fiscal analyst for the Senate Fiscal Agency. My colleagues and I have enjoyed working with her over the years, and again, welcome Bell Chords.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. And thank you, Bell Chords. If I had a voice that good, I wouldn't talk to anybody. For those of you standing, it's going to be a while. Don't lock your knees, folks. At this time, I'd like to recognize some guests on the floor today from the Michigan Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. I ask them they please stand when I call their names. First, our Adjutant General, Major General Gregory Vadnais, sitting with Senator Colbeck. Brigadier General Michael Stone, sitting with Senator Molinar. Jason Allen, our former colleague, Deputy Director for Veterans Affairs for the Michigan Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. He's a veteran of the Michigan National Guard, and he's sitting with Senator Walker. We thank you for being here today, and we appreciate all you do on behalf of the Michigan National Guard and our veterans. Last year, we invited 2 Gold Star mothers to speak about their experience with losing a loved one in the line of duty. For some of us, that was just a brief insight into the feelings that our Gold Star family members deal with on a daily basis. Many of those family members are here again with us today. I would ask that if you're a Gold Star family member, please stand so we may show our gratitude for your sacrifice. This year we'll be hearing from a wounded warrior. They all wear the Purple Heart. It's presented only to those who have left all or a part of themselves on the battlefield. It is my hope that this Memorial Day you'll remember all those who have served their country and put themselves in harm's way to protect our many freedoms. I'd like to share with you one of my favorite compositions entitled, "It Is the Soldier." It was written by Charles Michael Province, a veteran of the U.S. Army, and goes as follows. It is the soldier, not the minister, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to protest. It is the soldier, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the soldier, not the politician, who gives us the right to vote. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. We have many soldiers here today who have served their country, and I'd ask for everyone who has served in our armed forces to please stand so we may show our gratitude. As I mentioned, we've invited a wounded warrior to speak today. His name is Corporal Roy Thomas, U.S. Marine Corps. Corporal Thomas was born in Houma, Louisiana, but moved to Mount Pleasant, Michigan at a young age. While attending Mount Pleasant High School, he decided to consider the military as a way to jumpstart his career. It was the great history and challenges of the Marine Corps that enticed Corporal Thomas and his best friend, Dan Faber, to join the Marines. Corporal Thomas enlisted in June 2001. On April 6, 2004, while serving his first tour of duty in Iraq, Corporal Thomas was injured by a hand grenade at Al-Ramadi, Iraq. Corporal Thomas suffered many injuries from the explosion, including the loss of his left eye. Corporal Thomas was awarded the Military Order of the Purple Heart, as well as the Bronze Star with a Combat V. He's a member of the Marine Corps League and Purple Heart of America. Corporal Thomas is retired from the Marines and currently lives in Laurium in the Upper Peninsula. He enjoys working on automobiles and houses, and is engaged to be married to Melissa Obrick on September 15th of this year. Roy, the podium's yours.
Hello and good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming to today's ceremony. I would like to thank Senator Papa George for this opportunity, Amanda Comment for helping me with questions and going over all the details and such with me. And to all the veterans in here, it is an honor to be here with you, and I am thankful for all of you who have served and paved the road for me to be able to do what I have done. And to all the Gold Star families, it's an honor to be in your presence. To embark on my journey, I was born in Houma, Louisiana. My family moved to Central Michigan area while I was young, and I grew up there. I graduated from Mount Pleasant High School in 2001 with my buddy Dan Faber. That very same night of graduation, we went to the recruiter's office and headed for Lansing Airport, boarded a plane, and headed for good old Southern California. I don't really know Dan's exact reasoning for deciding to join the Marines, but I know why I did. I was a kid in high school that wanted something different. I did not want to go on to college. I was tired of school. and the Marines was the best route for me as far as I wanted to become an FBI agent. The Marines can give me a great start to my career after the service, and of course, the Marines are the best, the ultimate challenge, the few, the proud. All that lured this young 17-year-old kid to sign up during the summer of my junior and senior year. And when Dan finally decided to join the Marines, we went to boot camp on the buddy program. Upon arrival at San Diego International Airport, we were directed to go to the USO, United Service Organizations. And wait, while at the USO, I made some calls home to let my family know that I made it safe. Then all of a sudden, while watching TV, this gentleman come into the USO hollering and barking orders. Shocked and surprised, we followed the orders, grabbed our stuff, and got on the bus. Once on the bus, we were ordered to keep our heads down between our knees until told otherwise. The bus ride felt like hours, even though it only took a few minutes. I remember the bus stopping, the doors opening, and a swarm of yelling, screaming Marines barking whatever you can think of, telling us to get off their bus onto the traditionally well-known yellow footprints. And then it hit me, point of no return. I was at MCRD, Marine Corps Depot, San Diego. 13 weeks later, Daniel Faber and myself graduated boot camp, and we were finally a United States Marine, not a recruit anymore. It was a very, very proud moment. I graduated from boot camp on August 31st, 2001. After boot camp, we got 10 days of leave, then had to report back to SOI, School of Infantry. So I left Mount Pleasant and flew back to San Diego on September 10th, 2001. I had to report to SOI on September 11th, 2001. I spent the night in San Diego with some Marines and planned to ride the bus up to Camp Pendleton in the morning of September 11th. Well, I woke up to my cell phone going crazy. My family, friends were all trying to call and see what was going on, what happened, what did it mean for me, and so on. And at that time, I had no answers, for I didn't know what was going on. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and she told me to turn on the TV. And when I did, I was speechless, and I still had no answers. The bus came and got us. We reported to SOI, and all we were told from day one by the SOI instructors was, get the best training you can each and every day, because you never know when we're going to war. Because, gents, we're going to war. I graduated from SOI and was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. We were attached to the 5th Marine Regiment at San Mateo, Camp Pendleton. In June of 2002, 2-4 left to go serve a deployment in Japan. We were scheduled for a 6-month deployment, but sometime around December of 2002, there was a stop-loss, stop-move put into effect. We were in Japan for another 6 months. So we got on ship, went around. We were in Korea for training when the war started. And in June of 2003, we returned to the United States. Well, the rumor mill was running as we got back, and we were under the impression that we were soon heading to Afghanistan. In September of 2003, we went to Mountain Warfare Training Center, spent a month up there, continued training at Camp Pendleton, and in December of 2003, we got to go home for Christmas leave. But as we went home for Christmas leave, we were pretty sure that this would be our last time home before we got shipped somewhere for combat. I enjoyed my time home and didn't mention any word about going to war somewhere. I felt it was better off left alone and just enjoy my time home, for it could be my last time. In February of 2004, a few days before we were deployed to Al-Ramadi, Iraq, I called home to tell my parents that was an emotional and empty phone call due to the chance that I could never see them again. It was really intense while in country. We were in a hotbed of terrorist activity. We did 24/7 constant patrols throughout the battalion's area of operations. We barely got mail or hot food. The insurgents always blew up our trucks. Don't know if they knew or if they just got lucky. I think I mailed 2 letters home, and I can't remember how many I got, if it was even more than 2. It was hard to write a letter home. I couldn't talk about much, and I didn't want to say much to worry my parents any more than they already were. We seen constant gunfire, repeated attacks. The insurgents watched us 24/7, and were always plotting something against us. On the morning of April 6th, while on an MSR sweep, main supply route, my squad found a pair of 80mm mortar shells daisy-chained together. We tried to call for EOD, explosive ordnance disposal, to come blow up the bomb, but they were too busy. We could hear explosions in the background, but that was normal for us over there, so we didn't think anything of it. So we blew up the bombs ourselves and moved on. While on Route Nova along the Euphrates, we found another IED, got into a 360 as standard operating procedure for us. Then over the radio, a sniper team of 4 had been compromised and was under attack. They knew we were in the area, so we sent one squad back to help the snipers. Because we had 2 squads that morning, the lieutenant went with that squad. Then, around the time that squad got into the area of the snipers, we heard all kinds of gunfire. We knew something wasn't good. Then we started taking fire. Rounds started impacting on the ground around us. I jumped up immediately onto the road. I started laying down fire for my squad to move to the local nearby house. Once in the house, I got a head count and was missing a few Marines. The lieutenant had put them out on a lookout post. Then I got a call over my personal radio from Lance Corporal McIntosh. Him and Private PFC Akey were on the lookout post and were taking heavy fire and needed us to come rescue them. So I took 5 Marines with me. We skirted the brick wall that ran along the property line. Gunfire ricocheting all around us on the wall. We got close to McIntosh and Akey. I told them as soon as we started laying down cover fire, they had to run to us. Akey got there, or they started running, we started firing. It was about a 100-yard dash for the Marines. Akey got there first, and Lance Corporal McIntosh did a leap of faith at the end because he was wore out. I reached out to grab him and drag him behind the wall. And as soon as I stepped out there and I went to grab him, a bullet hit the sole of my boot. I swear I jumped about 6 feet in the air. Then we all worked our way back to the house. While inside the house again, I took some Marines with me up onto the roof and had a few stay downstairs. The roof had about a 4-foot ledge on the wall, all the way around it. Perfect cover for us as we started defending our position. My radio operator was next to me, and I could hear the radio breaking up. All hell broke loose for the Marines in 2-4 in Al Ramadi. All 3 platoons had separate firefights going on. It was crazy. A well-coordinated attack by the enemy. So continuing to defend the house, all of a sudden, I hear the most distinct ting, ting, ting roll on the concrete roof behind me. I hear a Marine yell frag. I look down, and there was a pineapple hand grenade less than a foot away from my right boot. I turned and told my radio operator to run. I took a few steps, but I knew that I wasn't getting away. So I reached out, grabbed him right by the back of his pack, and I gave him the most powerful shove I had. Pushed him out of the way. I stopped, I turned, I ducked my Kevlar, put my M16 down the left side of my body, and I took the explosion. Lights out. Don't remember much from there. I was sent to a hospital in Baghdad. Then I was a priority to get back to the United States. I went from Baghdad to Germany, Landstuhl Medical Center. Then from there, Balboa Naval Medical Center was where I received my care for almost the next year in San Diego, California. 12 Marines were killed on April 6th in that day of attack, and in the 7-month deployment, 34 courageous, brave men paid the ultimate sacrifice. Rest in peace to my fallen brothers of the 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. There are 3 Marines that stick out the most to me, and I will miss them dearly to this day. Lance Corporal Pedro Contreras, officially known as the mouth of the battalion. Contreras could yell so loud, it was crazy. This microphone has no comparison. At 5:30 a.m., Reveille, you could hear Contreras walking or running up and down the balconies of the barracks, just screaming, "Reveille, Reveille, Reveille, Echo, wake up." And it woke us up. And any other time the company had to fall out into formation, you could always hear Contreras yelling for Echo Company. It was really sad and quiet around the barracks when the company came back, but I know Lance Corporal Contreras was walking around up there yelling and taking care of the Marines in heaven. R.I.P., brother. I miss you. Lance Corporal Juan Lopez, a quiet, short Mexican kid, always seen walking up and down the balcony on his phone to his girlfriend back home in Georgia. Lance Corporal Lopez could barely speak English, but he's the only Mexican I know that is fluent in French. I was blown away when I found this out. I was just amazed that this guy knew French when he could barely speak English. I was just something I'd never expected, so I was always asking him while we were over there and we had time to teach me stuff in French. He's probably happy he gets a break from me bothering him for now. But Lance Corporal Lopez, I will see you again, and we will pick up where we left off. I'm not fluent in French yet, brother. R.I.P., brother, I miss you. Lance Corporal Deshaun Otey was my first roommate when I arrived at 2-4. Otey was an African-American male from Louisville, Kentucky, and had a really tough upbringing. He was an aspiring artist himself, and one day, he had some rap music on, and I knew the song. So I started singing along. And after a minute or so, I saw Lance Corporal Otey looking over me like I was the world's worst rapper. He states, "I'm shocked you know this song. No offense, but you're white, man." I fired back at him. I said, "Eminem's white." He busted out laughing at me. We had become really good and close and enjoyed jamming out in our room after we were done working, talking about where we came from and everything under the moon. R.I.P., brother. I miss you. All three of these courageous men were killed in an attack on July 29th, 2004. The news hit me like a freight train, one tough pill to swallow, and because I was hospitalized, I couldn't make it to any of their funerals. I was crushed. And another ordeal that made me the most angered and frustrated is when I found out about a loss of a Marine that hit close to home. I knew this Marine. We went to high school together. Lance Corporal Justin Ellsworth was killed in action on November 13th, 2004, 7 months after I had been injured, not too far east of where I was in Ramadi, Fallujah. I wanted to fight every doctor and personnel in that hospital, I swear, when they wouldn't let me make it home for the funeral. I was furious. Later on, when I finally was able to come home, while at home, I come to learn that there was a memorial service in Mount Pleasant for a statue dedication for Justin. That his parents received his belongings, and on top of his box, his personal belongings box, was newspaper clippings of my injuries that had been mailed to him. He had those clippings taped onto the top of that box from the Morning Sun. I was honored. I was taken back at that time. I had no words at that moment for John. I just couldn't express the feelings and the gratitude that I felt. It was a very, very tough moment for me. My recovery was a long road. I lost my left eye, broken left wrist, ulnar nerve damage, loss of feeling in the outside palm of my hand, hearing issues with my left ear, and shrapnel all throughout the left side of my body. The shrapnel that took my left eye also went into my brain. I spent a year with surgeries, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, neuropsychological testing, and so on before I was medically discharged from the Marines in 2005. It was tough to adapt to the loss of the eye. My depth perception was off. I would walk into walls on my left side because I thought while I was walking I had them cleared, and I would hit. Just learning to deal with that blind side was mentally and physically tough. And the depth perception was something else. I can't count how many curbs I tripped on. My leg muscles were so depleted and weak from all the shrapnel and then not walking for a while. When I finally was able to start rehab and physical therapy, I pretty much had to learn to walk again. I had to regain and rebuild all of my leg muscles again. I could not climb stairs for a long time. For instance, when I first got home, I could not go see any friends that lived in apartments because I didn't have the strength yet to climb any flights of stairs. I had to work with occupational therapy to learn how to adapt to things around my house and such, and I was in speech therapy for a while, helping me with my cognitive issues and speaking again. They worked with me on my memory problems, and I would always forget my appointments, but every time I made it to the VA, I always had my cell phone and my keys. So, they got me a smartphone and had me put all my appointments in the calendar to help me compensate. Life was not easy at all, readjusting to the civilian lifestyle and dealing with my injuries. How my life was different and such. I was not a happy person. I was still at that point to where I didn't want to be alive. Just the struggles of the day-to-day activity, just to feel that I wasn't the person that belonged out here and I wasn't the same person I was before. I struggled and struggled to find myself, and I resorted to heavy drinking. I was distant from my family and very explosive. I was too tough for help. I would never accept it, or to even sit down and talk with anybody. So I thought. In August of 2006, all that weight I was carrying finally crushed me. I had a breakdown. I was admitted into the Detroit VA mental health unit for over a week. That was a wake-up call. Lots and lots and lots of time to think. And realize this is a life I have to live now. I think in there I finally accepted that I wasn't the same person I used to be. When I was finally released from there into my parents' custody, I started getting help from Saginaw VA in mental health. I saw a mental health doctor once a week, and then I started looking to my buddies I served with more when I needed to talk and was down. Once a year I drive to Wisconsin now. We have a little reunion that we all make it to. I still couldn't be around large groups of people, and it was nearly impossible to go into huge stores. I just felt unsafe and couldn't trust anyone. But since I've accepted the help, life has become better for myself. Through time and just experiencing things, I'm learning how to cope and deal with life's twists and turns. It's been a long process and a very slow one, but I get by day to day, and I have a great support system, especially my fiance, Melissa. She has been able to understand, deal with, and help me with all of my troubles, disabilities, and such. So here I am today, standing in front of you all, still alive and kicking, and striving to become a better individual as the days go on. Thank you.
We're proud of you, Roy. The country's proud of you. I'd like to ask Senator Vincent Gregory to come up and read the names of Michigan's fallen soldiers since the last Senate memorial service. Senator Gregory is also a veteran who served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 1968 to 1970. As he reads the names of the fallen, their senators will come up and place a flag in the basket up front. In the past 12 months, we've lost 16 soldiers. I ask that everyone stand to honor them. Senator Gregory.
Thank you. And we will begin. Staff Sergeant Ergen Vedette Olsman, United States Marine Corps, May 26, 2011, from Sterling Heights. Specialist Robert L. Vokes, Jr., United States Army, June 4th, 2011, from Lance. Specialist Joseph A. Van Drommel, United States Army, August 14th, 2011, from Grand Rapids. Specialist 4, Chesray C. Clark, United States Army, September 18th, 2011, from E-Course. Private First Class Thomas C. Allers, United States Army, May 23rd, 2011, from Plainwell. Private First Class Brian J. Backus, United States Army, June 18, 2011, from Saginaw Township. Staff Sergeant Ryan F. Coyer, United States Army, March 12, 2012, from Saginaw. Seabee Thomas Howard Weber, United States Navy, April 14, 2012, from Frankenmuth. Seaman Aaron D. Ullum, United States Navy, July 12, 2011, from Midland. Staff Sergeant Joshua A. Throckmorton, United States Army, July 5, 2011, from Battle Creek. Staff Sergeant Nicholas A. Sprossoff, United States Marine Corps, September 28, 2011, from Davidson. Captain Drew E. Russell, United States Army, October 8, 2011, from Scotts. Private Jackie L. Diner II, United States Army, November 21st, 2011, from Boyne City. Technical Sergeant Matthew S. Swartz, United States Air Force, January 5th, 2012, from Traverse City. Staff Sergeant Vincent J. Bell, United States Marine Corps, November 30th, 2011, from Detroit. That concludes the names.
Thank you, Senator. I would ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. As we conclude this 18th Annual Senate Memorial Day service, I'd ask you to remember the composition I shared with you earlier. All of our freedoms can be attributed in a very large part to the many servicemen and women who have served our country with honor over the years. I would ask American Legion Unit 69, Whitehall Color Guard, to retire the colors. Please be seated.